Back at it again, baby, and we got another one with the brother Thomas Sowell. Let's dive in.
Tom Sowell on diversity, quote, "If there is any place in the Guinness Book of World Records for words repeated the most often over the most years without one speck of evidence, diversity should be a prime candidate. Is diversity our strength or anybody's strength anywhere in the world? It has not been our diversity, but our ability to overcome the problems inherent in diversity and to act together as Americans that has been our strength." Again, how did diversity come to be this kind of totem in society to which we must all...
Oh, it's applying the propaganda principles of Nazi propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, who said that, people will believe any lie if it's big enough and told often enough and loud enough. And this lie has been told. If you look at, diversity is really another name of what used to be called balkanization. And they had to get rid of that because if you looked at the Balkans, you would see that the horrors that have gone on there have outstripped anything. The Balkans, you would see that the horror.
What happened in the Balkans? If anybody has more information on that, please let me know. That looks like some bodies, and a lot of them. Sheesh Louise. Balkanization. What happened? Somebody let me know, please.
That have gone on there have outstripped anything that has ever happened in the United States. Back in the 1970s, when I was running a research project in Washington on American ethnic groups, a Yugoslav scholar came by to visit me, and he said, "You think blacks and whites in America have a problem? The problems of blacks and whites in America is nothing compared to the problems of Serbs and Croats in Yugoslavia." And if you read the horrors that have occurred there, I'll just mention one: throwing people's babies in the air and catching them on bayonets and forcing the parents to watch it while it happens. I mean, we have not reached that point yet, even though we are headed in that direction. Diversity is not their strength.
Throwing babies in the air and catching them on bayonets? What in... Somebody please explain it. Why would they do such a thing? Even if they were going to take out an innocent child, why do it in that fashion? I don't advocate for any harm to children, but you think if you are gonna take out a child, why toss him in the air and you're watching you're making the parent watch? Oh, I couldn't imagine. You are literally going to have to take me off of this earth before I sit there and watch you do that. I got to be careful with my words a little bit here because YouTube sometimes is a little weird when you start talking about certain things. But you're going to have to take me off of this earth before I just stand there and watch you do that. Yeah, that's just wild. If anybody has more information on that, please let me know.
That direction. Diversity is not their strength. The ability to deal with the problems of diversity, that is our strength.
Right.
Or was.
At the same time you're getting all this melding of diversity, there's an extremely narrow ideological conformity that's being enforced. So we have diversity in the way people look, the ethnic groups or from which they come, the parts of the country from which they come. But once you arrive, you'd better start thinking the way we do.
Yes. I still get emails from students,
That is facts, and we've seen that time and time again throughout some of these videos. That's so true. And it's weird now that I think about it. You want so much diversity in terms of skin color, ethnic background, race, all that good stuff. But you want people to think like you, and if they don't, they're Nazis or they're bigots or they are phobes or racist and all this other stuff if they don't agree. It doesn't make any sense, does it? Now that I'm thinking about it, it really doesn't make any type of sense. Sheesh.
I would say that, when they raise any issues that go against the professor's ideology, they just get ridiculed.
Let's say you're on the admissions committee at Harvard, and you're going to choose so many people. You're going to let people in for a variety of reasons. One is sheer academic merit. They scored 1,600 on their college boards. That's a good entry. They've got a brilliant academic and athletic background, and they happen to be a virtuoso violin player. Oh, yeah. And the violin player helps.
Yeah.
Or let's say they come from Nevada, and they don't have a lot of Nevadans at Harvard. And let's also say that they come from Sri Lanka. They don't have many people from Sri Lanka there. And let's also say that they also are African American, and that ought to be a factor in choosing from that pool. Maybe that's one of the considerations.
Because what?
Because diversity of a student body is a healthy factor.
I'm fascinated with the extent to which words, we're conditioned to react like Pavlov's dog to words. I hear diversity. Someone was asking me.
If you don't know the Pavlov dog experiment, I believe it was the experiment. I think there was a couple different dog experiments that they did. I think that one in particular is the one where he like rang a bell or something right before he would feed the dog. So the dog started associating the bell with food, and the dog would immediately start drooling whenever he would hear a bell. Let me know in the comment section if that's the right one. I believe that is. But he said what now in relation to
student body is a healthy factor.
I'm fascinated with the extent to which words, we're conditioned to react like Pavlov's dog to words. I hear diversity. Someone was asking.
Don't make me look bad, Professor.
I get what he's saying there in terms of we're conditioned to react like Pavlov's dog to words, like the dog reacted to the bell with food. We're conditioned to have like this reaction. Oh, diversity. Oh, yeah. Diversity. You know, when we hear certain words and things. Tom Sowell know his stuff, man.
Someone today who was a trustee of a college was saying that they were going to pick a new college professor. I said, what you should do is have a stopwatch there and just count how long it is till each of the contestants says the word diversity. And the guy who says it, you know, he's 35 minutes into the interview, and the other guy who says it, you know, the first sentence, the guy who takes 35 minutes, he should be at the top of the list. The guy who said it in the first sentence should be at the bottom. Because the question
well, what's wrong with diversity? I don't get the point.
My point is that this is a word that has become magic. What does it mean, if anything? Are you saying to me that all black people are alike, therefore you've got to mix and match by race? It's not diverse unless it's diverse along these dimensions?
No, I'll tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying that I think that it would be different to have people of different kinds of experiences. And we mentioned Sri Lanka, didn't we? And you know, and it'd be interesting to have some people with an Asian background. Wait, an Asian background, African American, people that come from Fifth Avenue and Park Avenue, as well as from Henderson, North Carolina. All of that would make a healthy student body.
It's nice if they earned it.
You mean to tell me?
I don't think everybody ought to come from sons of Harvard graduates.
All right.
My daughters.
Mainly, partly because they're not always the best students.
No, that's right.
But all right. That argument, I think, that doesn't make it. I slipped my point there for a minute.
Well, I mean, you have thought long and hard about this, and much longer than I have, and you bring to bear.
No, but wait. That's the theory. That's the theory.
Unfortunately,
the facts are quite different. In places like Harvard and Stanford and Cornell, what you have is the black son of the black doctor, who lived in the same neighborhood with the white son of the white doctor.
Right. No, I got
and
you.
now you're giving me diversity because these two people are out in Winnetka someplace.
No, not necessarily. They have scholarships that they offer to kids who are not the son of
But now we're getting away from the whole racial thing. I'm saying the racial thing has been used as a proxy for something that is not a proxy for, because the vast majority of blacks who go to places like Harvard and Cornell and Stanford are not blacks from the ghetto. Those are blacks from out there. You know, they're from Malibu. You know, they're from Pacific Palisades. They're from Winnetka and so forth. And they're from the very same neighborhoods. They're from the very same neighborhoods as the whites are there. And so now you call it diversity because you see something with the naked eye.
Explain why multiculturalism, if you would, is bad.
I guess it starts from a false premise, which is that there's something that all cultures are equal in some undefinable sense, which has never been the case. I mean, some cultures are better at some things, worse at other things, and at particular times in history, one group's culture may be ascendant, and another time another group's. But what you almost never see is what they assume is a norm, namely all groups performing pretty much the same in all kinds of fields across the board. That you can go through centuries of history without finding a single example of that.
You say that assumption, in fact, holds different groups down. You write, quote, multiculturalism, like the caste system, paints people into the corner where they happen to have been born, but at least the caste system doesn't claim to benefit those at the bottom.
Absolutely. So when the multiculturalists say, for example, that the schools should not try to make black students speak standard English, the difference between speaking...
When they say the black students shouldn't have to speak standard English, what? I feel like that's almost detrimental. Oh yeah, they're black, so they don't have to speak to the standards of the white students. What the? I'm sorry, but that almost pisses me off. So because I'm black, I can't speak on the level of a white student? Is that what we saying? I'm sorry, but what type of shit is that?
Say, for example, that the schools should not try to make black students speak standard English. The difference between speaking standard English and not speaking standard English can be huge in terms of your job, your careers, and all sorts of other things.
The key word among advocates...
Like I said, I feel like that's more detrimental than it is beneficial.
Your job, your careers, and all sorts of other things.
The key word among advocates of multiculturalism became diversity.
Yes.
Sweeping claims for the benefits of demographic and cultural diversity have prevailed without a speck of evidence being asked for or given. Name a few institutions in which diversity is championed without evidence.
Gosh, the question would be, name one way where that isn't the case. I would say the whole Ivy League, Stanford, Berkeley.
Corporate America?
Yes. It's really miraculous almost. I mean, I can't think of a word that has gained such widespread use and which is utterly unchallenged without one speck of evidence. If you look at societies that are diverse, they have all they can do to avoid mutual bloodshed. I mean, India, for example, is very diverse, and you know
it barely coheres as a nation.
That's right. When India was given its freedom by Britain and split into India and Pakistan, I mean, the number of people slaughtered between Hindus and Muslims ran into the hundreds of thousands.
Sheesh. Hundreds of thousands. Why diversity doesn't work. The way that I see it, and I'll leave it at this, you earn your spot. You earn it. We shouldn't be giving out participation trophies. And that's the way that I kind of see some of these things in terms of, hey, if you're black, you know, you get preferential treatment. You get pushed up on the list as far as who gets into this institution. What? Earn your spot. Earn your spot. Just because I'm black doesn't mean I can't earn it. So what? Oh, because you're black, you need a handout. You need to be coddled a little bit here, sir. You've been mistreated in the past, so you're just intellectually incapable of reaching the level of the white students. So we need to just allow you to get in. Get out of here with this BS. What? I don't know, man. That just doesn't sit right with me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the idiot in this whole equation or situation. You guys can let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, I agree with Thomas, man. Honestly, I do. But like I said, maybe I'm wrong. Y'all let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. Sheesh. Peace and love. I'm out.